Good morning, it's Tricia with Easy Emini Trade, and I want to go over Monday, February 22nd, and also a reminder that I'm having the evening webinar on Thursday, February 25th, and on this one we'll go over, of course, the Keltner channel setup, but also how to pick out relevant areas of support and resistance. That seems to be a source of confusion for a lot of people because they feel like they're picking out, like, how do they know what to ignore and what not to ignore. And also I'm going to show how you can use the power zone confluence matrix that Pivot Farm provides to also help pick out those support and resistance areas. So if you're having trouble with that, you might find that really helpful. And if you'd like more information about the setups or the webinar, just go to www.easyemintrade.com. And again, it's Thursday, February 25th at 8 p.m. Okay, so the first trade we took was actually on the NQ, and it was at 934. Actually, it might have been 935. Let's see. 936. We actually had our order in place under a couple of these bars, and it finally got filled on this one. And so we entered, and we were under the 50% retracement, close outside the channel. Indicator says it's okay to take it. So we take it with the expectation that we might have a little bit of stall in this area, and if not, then likely the close from Friday. Obviously it died, and that was nice because we were already in it when it died, so worked out to be a nice trade. On the ES, now we say that we'll take something in that first 3 minutes, within that first 3 minutes, without regard to support and resistance. So you do get a close outside the channel here within the first few minutes, but your indicator is not in line to take it. So on the ES, you would never have had an entry until here, the close of this bar. Actually, the close of this bar, but you'd be entered in on this one. So you did have an entry, but we were already in on the NQ, I think like 3 or 4 minutes by the time this set up, because you did get a close outside the channel here, but if you're looking to enter in a quarter under that bar, it never trades to your entry price on the next bar and then closes inside the channel, so you cancel. This bar here sets up, put your order in place, and works out, of course, as well as the NQ did. But we were already in the NQ, so that's why we didn't take it on the ES. The next trade that we took was also on the NQ, and once we got below the close from Friday and the pivot point, we took an entry under this bar here and just kind of seesawed back and forth. We actually stopped out on this. It was a very small stop. We didn't use a 2.5 point stop. We used a very small stop because if it wasn't going to go, then we didn't want, we didn't want to be in it. So it was okay. We're under the pivot point. Now it's got to go. It did finally go, but it just didn't go when we needed it to. So small loss on that one. On the ES, you would never have had a setup likely that you would have wanted to take there just because of coming into support areas. And what I mean by that is you do have a close outside the channel here and under the close from Friday, but on that very same bar it has the NQ right at that pivot point. So we know that if the NQ can't get through that support area, the ES isn't going to be able to move lower. So not something that I would have wanted to take. And this was a trade on the NQ that we took at 11:11, and we did get a close outside the channel, but we said it was probably going to be a high-risk trade just because of the congestion over here to our left. So we were expecting smaller targets on that when we took it. We were expecting 1.5 on a third or 2/3, and then 2 points on your final third or all of it, however you wanted to manage it. But because of this area here, that was to our left. So that's what we were anticipating having trouble at, this area right here. And so we took it, and that was at 11:11, I think 11:12 when it got filled, and it did work out. It bounced here, held our stop within a quarter, so we lucked out there, and it did just meet our 2 targets. So you wouldn't have gotten any more out of that, but came right to where we expected it to have some issue, and then it just went sideways pretty much the rest of the day. There wasn't really anything else to do. Over here on the ES at the same time, you had a setup occurring at the same time as the one that we just took on the NQ, but the issue would be is that you only have about 3/4 of a point's worth of room below you, so not really something that you'd want to take. Definitely had more room below us on the NQ, so we were already in that, so didn't have any decisions to make. And then the rest of the day, just pretty much, you could have done some range trades. The range was pretty narrow, but nonetheless, you could have done them. And then there really just wasn't anything else the rest of the day. We were waiting to get above the 50% retracement and look to take something above there, and it never did. It never materialized. So nothing to do there. You did get closed above there. We did have an order in above these bars here, and obviously never traded to our entry price, and then came back inside the channel and under the 50% retracement. So cancel the order, nothing to do. And this was after 3:30. So if somebody was trading, then obviously they could have done something there and ignored the reference areas. Okay, so I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email. And I hope you have a great day.